What the committee would like to hear is your vision for this and what you hope to achieve. So welcome as always.
Thank you, Chair Dembro, Vice Chair Olson, members of the committee. For the record, Governor Kate Brown. I very much appreciate the opportunity to testify here today on behalf of Senate Bill 928, which creates the Oregon Climate Authority. We all know we're seeing the impacts of climate change on our communities, our economy, and our way of life. 2018 was the warmest year in Oregon on record since 1895. Over the past few summers, we've had to ask ourselves if our current patterns of wildfire and drought are the new normal. And while climate change impacts every single one of us, we know that our rural communities and our underserved communities, including our communities of color and our tribes, are hit the hardest. We have a long history in Oregon of tackling tough problems head first, and climate change has to be no different. We're making meaningful, measurable progress to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, diversify our energy resources, and use energy more efficiently. But in the face of growing threats to climate change, the status quo isn't enough. Last fall, I outlined a comprehensive climate and clean energy agenda for Oregon. It included expanding electric vehicle infrastructure and incentives to support at least 50,000 vehicles, that would be electric vehicles, on Oregon roads by 2020, decarbonizing our electricity system through the transition to more renewable resources, greater energy efficiency, grid modernization, and regional energy markets, enhancing the capacities of our resource lands to sequester and store carbon and adapt to climate change, and adapting a market-based cap and invest program to achieve our state climate emissions reduction goals. These efforts will continue to move us forward, but we can do it much more efficiently and effectively through the creation of the Oregon Climate Authority. Now is the time for a dedicated agency that provides comprehensive leadership to address the effects of climate change while guiding Oregon toward a future of reliable, clean power. This is not the first time that we've stepped up with new solutions to complex environmental and economic issues. Just as the Oregon Department of Energy was created in 1975 as a response to the worldwide oil crisis, or as the Department of Environmental Quality was created in 1969 to protect public health and reduce pollution. This is truly one of the defining issues of our time, and we can meet it with a statewide agency empowered to meet our climate responsibilities and ensure accountability and oversight. The core of the OCA will include a new carbon market. Under House Bill 2020, Oregon would be the second state in the United States to enact an economy-wide cap and invest program. But the OCA, the Oregon Climate Authority, is more than a carbon market. It's about making sure that state government is working in a coordinated, efficient way toward meeting our climate and energy goals. It's about a clear line of authority directly accountable to the governor and the legislature with transparency and responsiveness to stakeholders. It's about following through on our greenhouse gas emission reduction goals and doubling down on energy efficiency. It's about providing clarity to the regulated community about where investments in carbon reduction are coming from and how they are being spent, all the while ensuring that our actions are being shaped by good data and rigorous analysis, and that we are stepping up to help Oregonians make an equitable transition to a low-carbon energy mix. We need solutions that support a market that's predictable and reliable for businesses across Oregon. The duties outlined in Senate Bill 928 reflect the importance of addressing climate change, as well as the value of existing and modernizing energy policy and programs. By integrating these responsibilities into one agency, we can expand on our climate and energy leadership while supporting the state's economy and create an energy landscape that's safe, clean, affordable, resilient, and of course, sustainable. This in turn will help us keep the commitments our state has made on greenhouse gas reductions, renewable energy, clean technologies, facility planning, and of course, emergency preparedness. Climate change is too big of a challenge, too cross-sector a crisis to remain fragmented. A sliver of policy in multiple agencies, from DLCD to DEQ, from ODO to ODA. This new agency, focusing on climate policy and moving Oregon toward a future of reliable power generation with reduced greenhouse gas emissions, is the pragmatic structure needed to forward the ambitious policy goals we share. I appreciate all of your leadership and this committee, and look forward to working with you on this legislation. I'm happy to answer any questions, and Jason Miner is here with, I think, a scintillating PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you.